How's it going?
Great. Hi, Jen. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I hope everybody that's listening has had a great start to the year, and we're grateful that you've come back to join us again for another episode. And so welcome back to all of our listeners. And what is our topic of conversation today, friends? What are we talking about?
I'm glad you asked. We're going to talk about content and social media in 2024 because things started to change a bit at the end of last year, and I think they're just going to continue to change. So I wanted to talk about how we can navigate all of our social media platforms better this year than we did last year.
Great.
Awesome.
I think people will be interested to
for sure.
to talk or to hear about this.
What are your guys' preferred social media platforms? What's your favorite?
Gosh, I'm an Instagram girl, but I'm also in a part of my life where, quite honestly, I don't want to be on social media, and I'm just being real honest. Mm-hmm. Like, right now in this time, it's a very hard place for me to be. It's taking, I know I'm supposed to be on it. Mm-hmm. We all have to do what we have to do to keep our businesses going and to stay in touch with our communities. And I think as a wellness provider and event producer, we use it as a platform to stay connected with our peeps that want to, do the things that we're doing. And, and I think there's a lot of great things to share and try to be positive and share, good messages. And, there's always the dark and the light. One cannot exist without the other. And so there's a balance of that. And I don't want to happy wash, life as it is on these platforms, because there is a lot of that. Yeah. And so anyways, social media for me, quite frankly, is really hard right now. And I'm doing my best just to stay current on my Instagram. And I kind of personally will check in Facebook here and there. I would say I definitely post more on LinkedIn, probably because it's business related and it feels a little less political and unfriendly and just ugly, quite frankly. So there's that. And then I do really like YouTube still because I can find like music and, pleasing scenes to watch. I really love Circle, which is gorgeous places and amazing DJ sets or musical acts, and it's really just takes you to another place. So I do like YouTube. You can learn a lot from YouTube, which I appreciate. So I can say I honestly will never be on Threads. I just can't with another platform. I do like Twitter because it's uncensored for the most part. I don't
X.
It's a double-edged sword right there.
That's right. X. And you know what? I'll take the bad with the good, but I just want the freedom to choose the content that I want to absorb and have it all be there. Yeah. Rather than have some platform censor, which is a dangerous, slippery slope. And I don't like any of that censorship. That's not what this country is about. I feel like we should be able to consume all types of content, and hey, if you're offended by this content or that content, then don't fucking watch it. Sorry. And it's like, what? Yeah.
I remember once someone told me that the greatest defense against being offended online or levels of cyberbullying is just close your eyes. Yeah. You could just close them and choose not to look at it.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Turn it off. Go focus attention somewhere else. Yeah. And
but the algorithms are pretty interesting in how obviously how they show you start going down that rabbit hole. I've been currently going down a rabbit hole. If you look at my feed, mongooses fighting cobras.
Oh my gosh, that's so entertaining.
For real, it is.
That's so entertaining.
It is.
Mongooses fighting cobras is top tier entertainment.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Second level of top tier entertainment is Neil the Seal.
What is that?
He's a seal who's terrorizing a small village. I can't remember exactly where it is. I want to say Sweden. I don't know if that's true. But he's terrorizing a small village. Everyone knows who he is. He fights things that are inanimate, and he's just a general nuisance, like a drunken neighbor.
Yeah.
But he's a seal. He's an elephant seal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's great. I love just anything to do with animals. That's my vibe.
Well, you'll like the cobra and the mongoose.
I know exactly what you're talking about,
That's
Gordon. That stuff is
amazing.
good stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's wild.
It's crazy what nature's just built to do, you know?
Yep.
What's your favorite social media app currently?
Currently, it's still Instagram, but I feel like I have TikTok envy because I want to get more involved with TikTok, because when I do engage, it's I like the content that people are producing on TikTok, and I see it growing. The TikTok store, in terms of 2024,
TikTok's got the algorithm game down.
E-commerce on social and the TikTok store, that's a game changer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely know what they're doing in terms of dominating your attention. It took them a couple years to get here for sure, but they're going to be a giant in the social media platform soon, if not already.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like Instagram is my go-to, but like you said, Jen, it feels like there's lots of politics and waves that are pretty heavy right now. Mm-hmm. And TikTok can be the same, but I do like a lot of the content that creators are producing on TikTok. And then YouTube, just the same. That's kind of my go-to in the evening. In terms of what to watch with the family, it's pretty easy to find something everyone likes, and it's usually relatively short, but long enough to sit and engage, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like LinkedIn for work.
Yeah.
Right? So.
How about you?
I think I'll always be a little bit in love with TikTok. I feel like my algorithm's really, really curated to me now. So I get a lot of education from that app. And then I also get to see a lot of tech toys that sometimes I accidentally buy. Excuse me. So I really like TikTok just for the sheer amount of like being able to see like people and perspectives and like education and like weird history facts and like weird animal shark attack facts, and it's a lot of education being thrown around really quickly. And even if you just use it as like a jumping point to start your education or to start your research on whatever, it's a good resource. And then honestly, one of my newest favorite social media apps is brand new and has just kind of started like gaining traction. It's called Laps. Have you guys heard of it?
No.
So it's like a photo share and photo sharing. I guess it's like a photo sharing app, but it's designed around like instant digitals, maybe not instant digitals, more like disposable pictures, like disposable camera pictures. But the marketing that they did in order to get people to download and sign up for this app was so ingenious. Like, it's one of the only things in the last like 2 years that I've actually been excited about, like being exposed to. But essentially it was an invite only app. So you had to get an invitation from a friend in order to download it. And then once you downloaded it, you had to invite 5 more friends before you were able to access or create your account. So it was already becoming like, it was going viral very quickly with everybody having to send it to 5 people. And if it's someone who's already on the app, you can't send them an invite. So you have to find 5 new people who have never heard of the app.
Great.
And then you open it and it like shuts down your whole like phone for a second and like forces you to watch this video that has like these interactive vibrations and everything. It was just like very attention grabbing. And I feel like in the age of like doom scrolling and how it's so hard to catch people's attention, I was just so impressed with how quickly they were able to grab my attention and force me to like watch and understand their messaging. And then like in the app, you can't progress and create your account until you like fully engage with all of their marketing. Which is insane. And so now there's so many people on Laps. And the other cool part about it is that, it's about living life in the moment. So you take a picture, but then you can't see the picture. It develops a couple hours later. And you have either the option to archive it or share it. You really don't have too many, like there's not a lot of status posts. There's like a couple things here and there. There's like random emoji like responses. So I feel like it takes away that barrier of like, oh, so-and-so liked this, so-and-so liked this. Cause it like has no emotion behind it. People can send you like a specific emoji. I feel like it's,
wow.
I don't know. I'm very, very, very impressed with the app. And I think that they understand where social media is going to be turning toward, and the demand for like more authenticity and like that subgroup of people who want to still share memories with their friends specifically and not have random people
looking at their stuff.
Yeah, or like just coming across their content or having to like watch someone else's random life that you're like, I don't follow this person. Why are they on my feed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
But yeah, I've been really excited about that one.
LAPPS or LAP?
LAPSE. Laps.
Gotcha.
So ask around, see if you know anybody with the code.
I know.
Yeah, I did not get an invite to Laps, just FYI.
Okay, we're going to make sure that you do because it's definitely worth it.
I would love
feel
it.
like your daughter probably might know what it is.
I'm going to ask her.
Yeah, I think
Willow
it's definitely like a Gen Z, and I think the next generation is called Gen Alpha.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more so focused toward them, but I think it's also hitting the kind of millennial group who like that nostalgia factor.
She's still in Snapchat.
Really?
Oh, yeah. She's snapping every day.
Snapchat has also done a really good job of somehow staying relevant
Yeah.
for 10 plus years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
There's a lot of really cool stuff coming out.
Cool.
I don't post as much on LinkedIn as I should. I know I didn't.
Same.
I don't. But being in social media and being able to manage clients' accounts, it's definitely a juggernaut in sense of business to business connections and being able to maintain those professional relationships.
Yeah.
Helped us today.
Yeah, and it did, and I, I know I for one, I know AJ, I see him active all the time. We repost a lot of the events or the recap images and things like that, and people do really reach out wanting to be involved in sponsorship of these said events because of what we're posting. So it feels like that's been mostly worth
Yes.
my time.
Yeah.
I would
Agreed.
agree.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
What do you guys think the future of social media is going to look like? Like from this that we've got this year, we're going to make changes and we're going to see a lot of new platforms pop up. We're going to see a lot of algorithms change, whatever. But what's the future of social media going to be?
I think the rise of the influencer is still the beginning, and more so with micro influencers. And it just feels like, unfortunately, the word influencer has, misconceptions
Tainted a
or
little
yes, is a little tainted. But going back to word of mouth marketing, it works. You trust your friends. And, I can't tell you how many times I'll see something that is someone that, I like, whether it's a book that they're referencing, and I'll go order the book right away. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that person's reading it. I want to read that book.
Yep.
And it's real. And, it's unfortunate that at some level influencers, there is some baggage, I think, with that term, but it's not going away. And I think the micro influencer, meaning more and more people, as long as you have an engaged network or audience, you can benefit from it. I mean, in terms of affiliate marketing and being able to generate some income from representing a product or service, it's real. People are making millions.
Yeah. I don't think influencer marketing is going anywhere. I do think it is shifting aggressively.
Agreed.
But I think for the better. I keep talking about like the new wave of authenticity, like
yes.
the need to be as real as possible is more urgent than ever, I feel. Mm-hmm. And the influencers that are succeeding are allowing their audience to become their friend. Like you said, you want to buy things from your friends. People don't think of influencers as friends. However, companionship content has gotten so big. People go on lives and they just like do their homework and they have like a study hall so that other people, thousands of people, come and also participate in the study hall. People want to feel like they're connected more, and they want to feel like they understand the people that they're connected to. So that parasocial relationship will allow more influencers to reach a wider network, and that's great for brands if they can hop on board. But it's also it's great it's a great time for creators.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have you noticed that it seems like our influencer marketing program is like really picking up in
Absolutely.
Popularity, like
Absolutely.
with our
works.
clients and our reach outs. Yeah, people are very see what we're doing, and I think it's cool to be involved in the micro influencer. Mm-hmm. I guess plan of action in terms of how we select the people we work with, and genuine, authentic, people who are creating cool content and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just want to share it.
and want to share it. Yeah.
That's
I
great.
agree. We're going to have a cool content creator, influencer, on the podcast coming up soon. I'm really excited to have, Aisha Beasley, on the podcast.
Yeah, she's great.
Coming up. Yeah.
I think another thing that we'll see change a little bit with influencer culture is the misconception of needing to be doing it for long to be successful. I think prior to now, we've had a lot of influencers who have worked really hard for 5, 10 plus years to get to the level that they're at. And now we're seeing more influencers who are able to catch a wave of virality and then be able to maintain that and build upon it quickly. And so people are literally sprouting up overnight, but it just means that it gives creators an opportunity to create something that can give you a really good return on your investment if you invest in them as an influencer, or it gives them an opportunity to showcase their individual skill, talent, trade, to then make money for themselves doing that thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
In terms of waves and what's happening, it's hard to ignore AI and AI's impact on influencers. I mean, its impact on everything, but the reality that you can have influencers that are purely AI that look like humans is wild.
Yeah.
I still think we're a little bit a ways away from the average brand being able to do that, because it is an expensive endeavor in order to invest in an AI model specifically, but we're not very far off from it, that's for sure. In that same vein, how can businesses leverage influencers in order to bring business or awareness to their brand?
For us, a big part of the right influencer is the right recruiting and finding the right fit for whatever the business and the brand is. I think it's that connection which takes away from needing this massive following. It's if you have an influencer, a micro influencer that has a smaller audience but has high engagement, and that influencer is in alignment with whatever the brand or the service is, for us, a big part of that is bringing those two together. And when you have the right fit, it feels really natural, and it's an authentic connection between even the brand and the influencer. So it's much less this feeling of, oh, we're just going to pay them a bunch of money to just do a post because we know they have 1 million followers.
A lot of times it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Correct.
And I find that when influencers are honest about a product, even if the product review isn't 100% positive, if they say, here are the great parts of it, here are the parts you might be concerned about, make your own decision, people will still see return on that investment of the influencer, because that authenticity is so important. It's like currency in the social media world. Absolutely. And being able to trade that back and forth between an influencer and their audience is something that brands just can't do necessarily alone.
Agreed. Yeah. I think that's a huge opportunity for everyone. The brands are going to be more successful. The influencer, the new influencer, the experienced influencer, they're all going to benefit as this, I think the path between the brand and the influencer just becomes easier, faster. And like you said, you can pretty much sprout up overnight as an influencer, and maybe didn't have a huge following by any means, but you caught a wave of a product. And that's where e-commerce as it relates to social is just so powerful, because it's moving so quickly that, just as you could have 10,000 views in an hour or more, or followers, you can have 10,000 sales in an hour.
Absolutely. We saw that a lot when TikTok Shop first started.
Yep.
A lot of the small businesses who listed their products there sold out of their entire merchandise overnight and had to stop selling products because they caught a video that got, 500,000 views, 1 million views, 12 million views,
Yeah, a small percentage of that in sales is a good day for most businesses.
Absolutely. A small business making 2,000 individual sales in 6 hours is a lot sometimes. So having to shut down for a few days, but then also being able to see those small businesses grow in that same vein. You know, you see their viral video go, you see them sell out of the product, and now suddenly you see them all the time and they're doing much better. They've got a warehouse space, or maybe they're, you know, upping production, or they've been able to hire help, or they're able to buy a house now because of the sales they were able to make via their online resources.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you think brands or influencers can maintain like a level of authenticity online without like going overboard or like oversharing? So I feel like there's like a very thin line between the two.
Oversharing.
Gosh,
Nobody does that online.
Nobody does that online. I'm like, what? Yeah, what have you seen and not seen? I don't know the answer.
I mean,
to that.
I think an authentic, like just what you said, if somebody's like, I really love this product, it truly changed my life, or, you know, I couldn't do this thing without it, or whatever. I appreciate that. You can feel that genuine appreciation come through. If it's, you know, if it's something that somebody was like, hey, I'll give you this much money for, you know, the promotion of this cup over here, and just pretend you like the cup. I mean, I think that if an influencer's upfront about receiving money about the product, I would appreciate that. You know,
knowing that they're getting money.
Knowing that they're like, I've been paid to promote this cup. It's the most beautiful cup. This cup saved my life. You know, like this is the chalice of whatever. I don't know. You know, it's like, but then at least tell me, I also, by the way, was paid $10,000 to tell you
TikTok is doing a really good job with that, with their like required tagging for certain videos. Like they will say that an ad is eligible for commission when they've been paid in order to promote it. They don't say that if you bought the product yourself and then promoted it and then made sales from that product, but even in the sense of like they have some filters now that inform you when things were edited with AI. So just trying to make sure that everyone is like aware of what is real and what's not, which is very important online, not only for an older demographic, but for all of the kids who are coming online and not able to decipher, you know, what's real and not real, because things are getting more realistic. Having those filters on the apps that are making the effort to inform and educate, I think is a really good thing. Yeah. You know what I think is going to start trending more this year? I think product placement over influencing. Maybe that's not the right word, not influencing, but product placement over product promotion, I think is going to become more popular. And I've noticed it on some, like I've noticed it on Instagram a bit, and on like YouTube, well, more so on Instagram and TikTok, but influencers just incorporating the products into their regular content without spending dedicated time promoting it. Because people have such strong parasocial relationships, they will read through the tags on the video, or they'll go and search for that specific thing, like, oh, I want that jacket that she was wearing, or oh, I want that build on that car, like I want to go and look up what that is based off of it just existing in their video and being tagged. I think more product placement will be trending this year.
They do it in films all the time.
That's the lesson online from Red Bull and Red Bull's Instagram account. No pictures of the product. It's all lifestyle, basically. No one is holding up. It's never an ad for Red Bull.
I love
it's
that.
It's always just lifestyle, and you'll see the logo on the helmets and that kind of thing, but same idea.
Yeah,
cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit like
well, yeah, with cannabis even. I mean, I think because cannabis is relatively new from a marketing standpoint, that it's kind of the same in that we're going back towards an old model of, here, this is the product, right here, let me just hold the package up, versus it's just a part of being at this event or whatever. You just have the product there. It's part of your lifestyle. And I think that's going to resonate.
It's like your life in with a little bit of cannabis sprinkled on top.
Exactly.
Right.
I think that's going to be how cannabis has to go, because in a lot of other markets, they're not allowed to have any sort of distinguishable packaging. It can't be enticing to children in any way. And so it's got to be in like a really medical grade package, really bland colors, bland font, no pictures.
Canada.
So how, honestly, I was in Vancouver over the New Year's break, and I was confused at how, like, I had a hard time picking what I liked, and I realized how much I do rely on that visual branding and how important it is. in every aspect of wherever you're going, even the grocery store, you know, clothing stores, whatever. But like being able to visually see like the mood, I guess, of what the brand is trying to portray for their flower impacts the way I purchase sometimes. And so being in a dispensary that has very medical grade stuff, you're relying on other forms of marketing in order to stand out. And one of the things that I saw actually at Inspired Cannabis in Vancouver, there was a vending machine that was giving out free samples, kind of like little like drops that you could just, you know, put your dollar in and get it.
Oh, amazing.
They were out. I tried really hard, but they didn't have any in there. I didn't shake the machine or anything.
Wow. That's a cool idea.
But I like that it stood out. It made me stop. It made me look at it. And even though it was going to come in a super medical grade packaging, like I kind of got the vibe of the brand. So I think as we move into social media and cannabis becomes more accepted, hopefully they might be descheduling it soon.
Yep.
Maybe social media accounts will allow us to post some stuff, but we're going to have to be creative about the lifestyle and what we want people to feel using the products, because it's not guaranteed that you're going to be able to keep your nice shiny packaging with all the right colors and pretty pictures. So
well, I think it's good. That's I think going to move in our direction to be able to give that real world experience with the product. I think people are going to look for that too in marketing. So
absolutely,
it's not all AI generated. It's an outdoor scene with humans.
You got to make it. You got to sell it. You got to sell the vibe. You got to tell the story. Explain to me what I'm looking at and why I should care. You know?
Do a great job.
Thank you.
You do.
I really like telling stories. I like movies and like building scenes and sets, and I've been doing it all my life. But like the art of storytelling, I feel like is becoming a little bit lost in social media, but I think that people are definitely taking that lane, but it makes such a difference. And I think that's the reason why like those giant brands who have commercials on TV, like there's always a story, especially the Super Bowl ads. Like, and everyone says those are the best ads of the entire year. It's because they're always telling a really, really, really good story.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, they only got a few seconds. You might as well make it.
Got to hit me
real
hard.
good.
Oh my God, make me feel it. How do brands get better at storytelling? Because I feel like it's hard. It's hard as a business to tell a story about your product, but I think it's important.
Well, I think a lot of brands don't know what their identity is.
That's a good point.
They don't. They're all over the place. They know they have a product. I mean, I would just say this in cannabis specifically, is that they know they have this product, and let's eliminate the retail locations. Let's just go for brand products specifically. It's like, okay, I have this really cool idea. It's a catchy name, and you know, we want, the vibe is this, but like, okay. That's only a small portion of that. Like, you can only take so many product photos, like Gordon mentioned, and you know, are you telling this? What is the story of your brand, and who are you speaking to? And maybe tell the story of your consumer.
And you know what they always say? Who are you speaking to?
Don't say everyone.
Don't say everyone. It can't be everyone.
No,
otherwise
it's nobody. So it's an interesting. I feel like cannabis brands in particular are really lost in who they are and what they stand for. They kind of, what they represent, the mood, the vibe, but like, what's the story behind the brand? It's the people behind the brand that makes the brand so awesome. People forget that. And you have to tell the story about that and why. And then, you know, telling a story for your different let's say avatars, people who are, you know, buying your product.
I love that.
Right. We
should call them avatars.
Yes, they are. Yeah. They're, you know, so the avatar of, you know, a mom who's in her 40s and, you know, she likes to go to Pilates and has a couple of kiddos.
She drives this car.
Yep.
She has this type of computer. I mean, all of those things.
Detail.
Yes. If you drive a Mini and you have an Apple, I mean, there's a certain thread that starts to come together that makes up that avatar.
And then you can tell a story about your product
that's gonna relate to her specifically,
to that person, and then rinse and repeat for all the different avatars of your consumer. You know,
and it goes back to her network.
Yep.
And she, as an influencer with her friends, will tell her friends. and then her friends will want to
Tell
buy
their
that.
friends.
And exactly. But they're all very similar because they're hanging out together. Yeah. And she's got a great new pre-roll that she wants to
absolutely
share with her friends. And as soon as she tells her friends that she's got this amazing pre-roll, all of those ladies or guys are going to.
Brand loyalty can be really, really strong, especially when it's a product that you've been introduced to by your friends or your family.
Yeah.
We're all like that. Everyone in this room.
I still use the same butter that my mom uses, because that's the one I know I'm supposed to use.
Exactly. Everyone in this room is exactly like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our little things.
Absolutely.
From the car you drive to the whatever. I mean, I got my Land Cruiser. I like Land Cruisers. That's a whole thing. Like
there's a whole community of y'all.
There's a massive
I
community.
love it. It's great.
So it's just like, and that's with everything at some level. Interests and hobbies.
Yep.
Yes. Pets.
Oh, don't get me started on pets. I love pet people.
Yeah. So my feed also, I have a Frenchie and a bloodhound, and my Frenchie, I have so many Frenchie memes and accounts that are just all over my feed.
That's okay. You know, an influencer convinced me to get a matching hoodie with my dog because they sold them.
See?
They're lilac. They're on their way. My dog and I are going to be super cute in them together. But I saw it on TikTok and I was like, I like that you guys are matching. I want to match too.
It seems like you might need some glamour shot portraits with your dog in that outfit.
I'm ready and willing.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
Yes. I feel like I could do a full day shoot with her. That's my girl.
That's amazing.
What are your thoughts on that?
Brands can become better storytellers on social media by investing in more creatives. Everybody is not meant to do social media creative work. Not that everyone is not creative, but it takes a certain level of understanding of where people's attentions kind of naturally go. And I think if brands invested more in creative minds that help to develop storylines around their products, or even just incorporating more creative roles in the development process,
yes,
going through an agency or having an agency come and collaborate with you, because ideas are really good ideas, but in order to have them resonate with people, you've got to have some creativity and some emotion behind that. And being able to conceptualize those hard-hitting like concepts or those commercials will help sell the product, especially if you're trying to navigate social media. Like, you have to be able to tell an entire story in 10 seconds. Yes. You need a little bit of help with that sometimes from a creative. Yes. Sometimes it can't just be, just employees that are there and in charge of other things. Like, being able to tell really, really good stories that catch your attention quickly on social media is really, really hard, but it's possible if you invest in the right team.
Agreed. You mean you can't have the same person doing all your social media and your events and your email and your brand ambassadors?
Not if you want to be successful. And as somebody who, I've been down that pipeline of, could you just help with a couple social media posts?
Let's do all of it.
It's not that easy, and you're not going to get the best result from it, and you're probably going to just frustrate each other, to be honest. So it's always better to invest in someone to help you, even if like you're a really small business and you can't necessarily afford that investment. Just finding somebody in your network that is interested in those topics or is a creative to come and give you some ideas it's going to take you miles longer than just trying to just knuckle it out online, posting the same thing every day and not understanding why you're not getting any engagement or traction or return on that.
Too much focus on tactics and not strategy.
Absolutely.
Will put you in that predicament.
What do we hope Plant.Body.Soul story is going to be this year?
Oh boy. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. I feel like you're going to start to see Plant.Body.Soul more outside of Arizona too. Like, that's a whole new chapter.
Yes, influencers speaking of influencers, in New Jersey, in Michigan, in Illinois.
We're going places.
Yeah,
yes.
that's very exciting. Retreats. We're working to do this the right way and launching some very cool opportunities outside of the country, which is exciting and also a little nerve-wracking because we've never done it before, but we have the best team and
We have an amazing
collaborators.
team.
So we're super stoked on that. Yeah, more in the psychedelics. We're in it
It's
this
coming.
year, baby. Yeah, it's exciting. Really, really exciting.
Yeah, I think cannabis, it's certainly had its, feels like it's been a little bumpy the last 12 to 16 months, but it does feel like with new markets and just more opportunities for people to engage with cannabis in a way that maybe they hadn't before, whether it's a drink or a gummy or it's low dose or, in a different setting, maybe in a consumption lounge. I think that we're still very early in cannabis, and I feel like 2024 will be better than 2023. And then you have the support of psychedelics on top of that.
I agree.
Yeah. It's an exciting place to be. I'm really grateful that we're on this ride together. And thanks for being such a social media badass. I mean, we really appreciate you. And definitely, we all know our strengths. And for me, it's the experiential. It's being in the, planning and then being in the moment and trying to facilitate a space that makes people feel good and happy. That's really all I want to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I can do social media, and you clearly heard where I feel where I'm at with it right now. And so to have people like yourself and our amazing account managers that are just on it and get it and are good at it and play at the things that I feel like I'm struggling with sometimes. So really grateful for you.
Yeah, just having the right team and people is it's just so important. As everything changes too so quickly, it's like you can't have just one person doing everything.
No.
And yes, I'm grateful for the team that we've brought together.
Yeah. Well, that ends our episode. Thanks, Taylor. Thanks, G.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks,
Taylor.
Thanks, guys.
See ya next time.
See you next time.